Addiction is usually considered within the context of drugs but can also be applied to other factors such as gambling, sex, and technology. This video will discuss how addiction works with regards to sugar. Addiction is defined as a psychological dependence on a substance or act. The behaviors that result from this addiction can be compulsive and uncontrollable, often getting worse over time, leading to greater detriment to the physical state of the body. There are several factors that make up the diagnostic criteria of addiction, including binging, withdrawal, cravings, and sensitization. Now, what do these mean? Binging is the increased consumption at a time after a period of abstinence. Withdrawal is the effects of the absence of the substance. Cravings are the intense desire to consume or use. And finally, sensitization is when the use of one substance leads to an increased risk of use of another. Animal studies have revealed that the consumption of sugar is similar to drug-like effects such as cravings, binging, withdrawal, cross-sensitizations, reward, and opioid effects. Just to note that sugar addiction is not classified as an addiction in the DSM-5. So typically one feels rewarded after consuming food that tastes good and provides energy. Similar to addiction, the appetite for sugar activates the reward system. And additionally, the consumption of sugar can change how satiated one feels, and even if the body does not need more energy, consuming sugar can cause one to want more. It is also found that when the body is full from consuming sugar, it does not always signal the brain to stop eating, causing overeating and disrupting the body's homeostasis. Therefore, consuming large amounts of sugar can trigger behaviors associated with addiction. Hyperpalatable foods are foods with high levels of fats, sugars, carbs, or sodium and trigger the brain's reward system, resulting in excessive eating. These foods can impair the decision-making process since they have the ability to drive reward centers in the brain just like drugs. Biochemical reactions which occur in response to the consumption of hyperpalatable foods can have an impact on one's behavior and can lead to similar behavior seen in drug addictions. This reveals that the biological effects of sugar on the brain's reward centers can cause people to make choices that may not be in their best interests.
The brain's reward circuit, a complex network involving the mesolimbic dopamine system, which includes the ventral tegmental area, nucleus accumbens, prefrontal cortex, basolateral amygdala, lateral hippocampus, and medial forebrain, is essential to our survival. It encourages behaviors like eating, sexual activity, and social interactions. This circuit operates in two fundamental ways. It not only generates pleasure in response to life-sustaining activities, but also engages our memory centers to ensure we repeat these beneficial behaviors. Dopamine is a key player here, a neurotransmitter that when increased is associated with pleasure, and when decreased leads to the pursuit of pleasure. However, this system can be hijacked by substance abuse, leading to addiction. The power of this reward system was evident in studies where animals would forsake all other needs for continuous stimulation of their brain's reward centers. With chronic use, substances dampen this reward system, demanding ever-increasing quantities for the same effect. Similar principles apply to food addiction. Dopamine plays a crucial role, especially in relation to palatable foods or when food is scarce. Certain peptides can trigger feeding behavior, further increasing dopamine in the nucleus accumbens. Obese individuals, much like drug abusers, may find less pleasure in food over time, a phenomenon visible in neuroimaging studies. Both drug abusers and obese individuals show a blunted dopamine response, suggesting similar neural mechanisms at play. Sugar, believed to release endogenous opioids, may have its own addictive qualities. Studies have shown that sugar-dependent rats experience withdrawal symptoms when denied their fix. These findings parallel the anxiety and withdrawal observed in substance dependence, raising questions about sugar's addictive potential. Understanding these mechanisms not only helps explain addictive behaviors, but also guides us towards more effective treatments and interventions.
Earlier, we mentioned that sugar addiction is not in the DSM-5. But what is the DSM-5 and why is it important? The DSM-5 is a well-known handbook used to diagnose mental disorders, most often in North America. Think of it as a dictionary. If a doctor wanted to treat you, you'd first tell them your symptoms. They'd look through all of the definitions, find the ones that fit you best, and diagnose you. Once diagnosed, you can customize treatment, right? Now, imagine that the dictionary doesn't actually have a definition for sugar addiction. Although the DSM-5 defines similar conditions such as binge eating disorders, excluding sugar addiction from the DSM means you may not have the best treatment plan or any plan at all. This means that we have limited insight as to how widespread sugar addiction is, what behaviors trigger it, and how it intertwines with physical and mental health conditions such as depression, diabetes, or obesity, all of which require professional support. Regardless, certain questionnaires and tools can help measure the addictive eating behaviors and cravings experienced by approximately 13% of American seniors. Though future research in humans is needed, this metric is especially concerning, requiring better access to nutritious, affordable foods and educational programs addressing both physical and mental health care needs in all age groups. Now, let's do a recap through 3 quick questions. Number 1, what is addiction? Is it the psychological dependence on drugs? Is it the psychological dependence on a substance or act? Or is it the biological dependence on an act? That's right. While addiction can definitely be applied to drugs and requires biological dependence, addiction is defined as the psychological dependence on a substance or act. Number 2, which of the following is true? The brain's reward circuit may find less pleasure in food over time. Sugar addiction is classified in the DSM-5. Animal studies translate perfectly to humans. Or D, sugar addiction does not have serious consequences. If you answered A, you are absolutely correct. Similar to drug addiction, the brain's reward circuit might build a tolerance to sugary foods, finding less pleasure in food over time. Sugar addiction is not a DSM-5 classified condition. Animal studies, while informative, are not entirely applicable to humans, and any type of addiction has major consequences. Lastly, why is it important to define sugar addictions? Is it for improved treatment, to understand the origins of this condition, to better measure short and long-term impacts, or all of the above? Exactly, all of the above. Thanks for playing along. Stay tuned for more empowering and insightful content next time.